long tea. Ho-ha, hoo-chee-chee. Everybody get the phone, name tag. Wanna see my ride? Never good going, hit the gong with a bag. What? Everybody wanna see
have
me
those
for
green
a
cards, we get a
but
free
that's
game
not
of
right,
bowling.
not in real life uniform. Down and break your leg. Everybody wanna see me break a neck. Well, I don't, but I like fried right. And I got like Ching Chow, Wu Ching Wan, Wu White. That ain't nice. For the cookie, I always told you twice. Delivery's free, but not from me. I always told $1.50, 55. Wanna see me go down? Hit you with the line. Well, when I hit you with the shit, do a split, take a shit after you eat my dick, hunk full. Want my buffet? You fucking gay. Philo, hit you with the hay. Stay the fuck away. Hit you in the balls. Only Americans eat that sauce. And my soy sauce is for you. I can put it in your shoe. Watch this. I can tiptoe while you take a piss. In my bathroom, spy on you while your little boy shit. I can get you if you don't pay the bill. And if you want a little mint, that's 50 cents. Bitch, everything costs a little bit. So don't expect nothing for free, at least from me, King James QE. I got you.
Welcome to Educated Bowlers.
I can do it all night long.
Alright. I'd like to, for those of you who maybe have just moved to Marshall, or maybe for those of you who have lived in Marshall for a long time, and who aren't really familiar with its history. Marshall has a very interesting history, and what we'd like to do, is to provide you with a little tour of Marshall, its historical significance. What you see up ahead there, that little building, was the first building ever built in Marshall. It was built in 1790 by an adventurer named Richard Speckler. Speckler was the first to come into this region of the country and stay. Speckler was an odd adventurer. In some respects, he was only 5'1" tall, which is strange for an adventurer. And he was eventually killed when he got into a scuffle because someone had called him a dwarf. And now here we are on, what street is this?
Whitney.
Whitney Street. Whitney Street. Oh yes, Whitney Street. This was the first street actually in Marshall ever built. We're coming up now on the home of the Lothringer family. There's the Lothringers. Right there. Lothringer's house. Pete Lothringer, greatest living musician in Marshall.
There he is in back.
Out back smoking.
The number you gave me was wrong, so
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to get over it.
You got your phone with you?
Yeah.
We can call. Yes, Whitney Street was the first street ever built in Marshall. It was originally built to transport slaves from one end of the town to the other, because at the other end of, up ahead of us, there was a plantation built in about 1830, known as the Speckler Plantation, but it really had nothing to do with Richard Speckler, the adventurer. It was actually owned by a family named Bicey, the Bicey family, not the Bicey family, not Tim Bicey, the Tim Bicey that's on Educated Bowlers, a different Bicey family, held slaves at that end of what was then called Speckler Town, Speckler Plantation. And Whitney was the main road on which slaves were transported to the plantation. Now up ahead, you'll see the new Charter location, Charter Communications, located here on East College Drive. many people don't know this, but East College Drive got its name because if you follow it as we're doing, you will come up to the college. That's why it's called East College Drive. The college was originally built in 1904. It was built by an unusual group of people. On one hand, you had industrialists from Detroit who were thinking that this would be a good area in which to isolate people and basically brainwash them into becoming better workers. And so they set up the college with that in mind. Here we are at the Marshall Lanes, Marshall's only bowling alley. Marshall Lanes was originally opened in 1930 during the Great Depression.
During my high school sweetheart, I think I missed out on a lot. Like Kelly Beavers.
So, do you know anything about Richard Speckler?
I know he was Marshall's first bowler.
Was he?
Yeah. But because he was only 5'1", he used a small ball. And a lot of jokes were small balls, Speckler, you know.
But given that Marshall Bowl here wasn't founded until 1930,
yeah.
and Richard Speckler was here at the beginning of the 19th century.
That accounts for a lot of the other humor that was associated with bowling in those days. Speckler attached a long bowling alley next to his, or actually right on the side of a dairy barn. And he had the cows lined up on one side and then on the other. His lanes, he had just 3 lanes. Yeah.
3's an odd number.
Yeah. He's a very odd man.
Know anything about Richard Speckler?
Just from what I've read, I've heard that, you know, though he wasn't attached legally to the plantation on one end of town, I heard that he did, like, illegal deals with women, that sort of gossip.
What do you mean illegal deals?
Well, he publicly was against slavery, even though slavery built the town.
Right.
I think it had to do with him being pushed out of some of the profits in the plantation. Originally, I think he was part owner. Then when he was pushed out, he publicly came out against slavery. But then the rumor was that he still was dealing under the table for slaves. He'd bring in on like a night train, they called it, to bring in slaves. And this was after slavery was over, which is even worse. But what one must understand about the time frame of Richard Speckler was that in southwestern Minnesota, which is one of the most progressive states in the Union, which outlawed slavery back in the early 1780s.
No. It was about 1805, I believe.
1805?
Yeah.
Well, see, these are rumors, and you know, yeah, rumors are, well, my history's pretty poor too, so I drink a lot, and probably that's my memory's gone.
This from a guy who would buy a camper with an entitled. You know, I think Speckler, to a certain degree, gets a bad rap. I mean, questions about...
Did he rap? Actually?
I don't know about... I don't like rap. But at least I don't like pre-antebellum rap. But Speckler did introduce some of of his favored slaves to the sport of bowling, and was personally responsible for a wave of black bowling in the early 19th century. Some of the great black bowlers like Richard Rollin Pin Himes and Jake Knock 'em Down Sexton were both Speckler slaves. You have to take the good with the bad.
That's what their team was called, wasn't it?
Spectators?
Speckler's Slaves.
Speckler's Slave. I don't know. Teams, you couldn't make those people play on a team, is what Speckler always said. They were always out for themselves. Take the good with the bad.
So where are we in time now?
2002.
And it's interesting how his legacy is still alive in 2002.
You mean the small people?
No, his legacy of left-handed bowlers, because he was, I think, the first left-handed bowler.
The first left-handed bowler not to have been corrected.
Yeah. I mean, back then he set the standard, so everybody who was right-handed felt that they were the odd ones.
He refused to be corrected also.
Yeah, and I heard that when he corrected people, it was harsh.
Yeah. You know anything about a lot of talk about Speckler's illegitimate mulatto children bowlers?
Yeah. Well, I know that there was some suspicion that in his slave breeding practices, he was breeding his slaves to be bowlers. And characteristics were one, unusually large forearm, one powerful hand, and knock knees.
Also, they tended to get smaller and smaller with each generation.
Right. And historians have been really been brutal with Speckler over this, equating him with Dr. Mengele and others. James Garfield was the first left-handed president of the United States.
Also, did you know that Speckler was the first to coin the term booty?
I was not aware that he coined the term.
Yeah.
I believe it was a German. Is he a German?
Speckler? No, Speckler was, I believe he was Finnish.
And where does his booty come from?
He used the word booty originally to refer to a female slave's ass.
Usually in those days, booty meant riches, gold. Booty.
Right, I'm saying Speckler was the first to apply it to, what now is its current use.
He was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was. So we've had a lot of complaints about Tim Boehm and his, let's say, not altogether wholesome views of man and woman. What do you think? Do you think that the community does have the right to protect its kind of most shared opinions, or do you think that Boehm has the right to say whatever he wants?